The issue we're going to discuss this morning is, in my opinions, one of the issues that unjustifiably doesn't get enough interest and attention in Israeli discourse. And of course, we're talking about Jewish-Arab relations, citizens of Israel. And we oftentimes just kind of resolve it by, there's not much to be done, and statements of that nature, or it'll be okay one day. And I think the last 2 years have taught us to a great degree that nothing is going to be okay. And we are currently marking 2 years for Guardian of the Walls, a campaign that was kind of a preliminary sign for Jews and Arabs alike, that the basic formula that was quite superficial in general, that was established in the Declaration of the State of Israel, that was supposed to establish relations between Jews and Arabs that are citizens of Israel, is not enough. You need something that's broader, more detailed, and in conversations that I have among Jews and Arabs, where many people talk about this volcano that erupted 2 years ago, but there's no guarantee that it won't erupt again and even worse. So in order to delve into all of these very, concerning issues, we're going to do something that's a bit multidimensional in the next hour. We're going to begin the panel with presentations of a survey led by Arik Rodetsky, head of the Jewish-Arab Cooperation in Konrad Adenauer Stiftung in Israel, one of our partners here. Then we're going to have a real debate into the issue of the one that I raised with the Knesset member Mansour Abbas, Rabbi Shai Piron, at the moment Pnima Movement, and we have with me Eman Safadi, my co-moderator, and we will conduct the debate together. But before all of this, I'd like to invite Dr. Beatrice Gorovanci, Director of the Konrad Adenauer Foundation here in Israel, to make opening remarks, if you would.
Good morning, everyone. Honorable MK Mansour Abbas, Honorable Rabbi Shai Piron, former Minister of Education, and I can see also the Honorable Member of the German Parliament, Roderich Kiesewetter, in the audience. A very warm welcome to all of you, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. A very good morning. On behalf of the Konrad Adenauer Foundation, it is my pleasure to welcome you to this very, very special panel here at the Herzliya Conference. We are honored and proud as the Konrad Adenauer Foundation that we are participating in this special panel and also in this conference. And my thanks go to Major General Amos Gilad for inviting us to join hands here in this conference and in this panel. The Konrad Adenauer Foundation has been present in Israel for the past 40 years, and we are a German political foundation with the vision to promote international dialogue. And in this respect, we do partner with the Reichman University for more than a decade with several institutes. Today, we are very happy that we are hosting this panel discussion, which is a very special one because of the relevance of the topic, the relations between Jews and Arabs in Israel and the relations between the state of Israel and the Arab citizens. The IPS, the Konrad Adenauer Foundation, and the Konrad Adenauer program of Arab-Jewish cooperation at the Moshe Dayan Center at Tel Aviv University, led by Dr. Arik Rodetsky, whom I also warmly welcome, who is a partner of the Konrad Adenauer Foundation for the past 20 years. We are hosting this panel, and the aim is that we join forces to present to you the current status of the trends as well as the political and social conceptions among the Arab populations in Israel these days. Today's presentation of the poll and the following discussion will focus on the complexities and all the challenges in this sometimes fragile relations between Jews and Arab in Israel, but in this very gentle texture of the Israeli society, there's also a great potential and a variety hidden, which is so essential for a democracy. And we at the Konrad Adenauer Foundation, we are very happy and privileged to present this platform to you for such an important discussion. And we are extremely happy to do this in the year 2023 because it marks also the 75th anniversary of the foundation of the State of Israel. I do not want to elaborate any further because our experts are in a much better position to do so. So I hand over to our dear moderators, Ms. Iman Safadi and Dr. Michael Melstein, and I thank you very much for the great cooperation. Thank you.
Good morning to everyone. My name is Dr. Arik Rudnitsky, and I'm head of the program for Jewish-Arab cooperation in the Moshe Dayan Center in Tel Aviv University. I was told that I should stand up so that everybody can see me. Even you probably would be seeing me very well if I sat down, but I was asked to stand. Now, with your permission, I'd like to show you the findings of the survey that we conducted in Arab society in Israel. And if we could just put up the presentation. Okay. Now, it's a poll that addresses I will address three key issues from the issues discussed in the poll. First of all, a couple of facts. This is a survey, a representative survey, large scale, of Arab society in Israel. 4.4% bias error was calculated for, and information was gathered also through the last conflict that was also in the last 10 days. Things happen all the time. And the first thing that we asked respondents is what is your position in regards to a popular protest that is now been occurring for several months against the Israeli reform of government proposal. And we can see that most Arabs generally support and justify a common man protest, an underground protest. In fact, in large numbers, very large numbers, they support the protest. However, when you ask them, is this protest relevant to the Arabs among Israel, here we see differing views. About almost half think that it does concern the Arab public. More than half, 59%, think it does not, and others are left without any stance. But we do see that the vast majority, almost 60% of Arabs in Israel, believe that Arabs should take an active part or a more active part in the protest. Now, the interesting thing in this regard is that when we sort of delve into the core issues of the protest, in recent months, we've been hearing, for example, that this protest should talk also about maybe establishing for the first time a constitution in the State of Israel with the principles and values instated in the Declaration of Independence. And here the Arab position is quite clear. We can see that the vast majority of the Arab public think that the values in the Declaration of Independence cannot be the agreed-on principles for an Israeli constitution. Meaning, in other words, dear friends, this social contract upon which this country was established in 1948, this social contract is not acceptable to the majority of Arab citizens here. So here we can see the differing opinions between the mainstream of the Arab street to the mainstream of the Jewish street, the common man view. The second issue that I'd like to discuss is a very important issue, and that's the personal sense of security and safety of the Arab citizenry. And here, as of this morning, we are counting 81 people killed, men and women among the Arab sector killed this year. And we're not even in the middle of 2023. We already have a number of murdered victims, like at the peak of the COVID period, which was very, very bad. At the moment, at the pace that we're going to break a record of victims of homicide among the Arab sector. And we asked people in Arab society, to what degree do you believe that you personally, do you feel that your safety, not collectively everybody around you, but you, your family, those closest to you, are secure? And we over 60%, 61.7%, they say to a great extent that their sense of security has been harmed. Now, this data very much speaks for itself. And however, we see that 53% of Arab citizens believe that at the end of the day there will be a solution for this issue. Only 11% are convinced that there will not be a solution. So we ask them, okay, who can resolve this issue? And the answers here, I have to say, are fascinating. Not only because of what we see in the findings themselves, but because of an interesting fact that I'll address in a moment. But if we analyze the answers, we see that 40% of the Arab citizens believe that the responsibility, or the people that can resolve the violence, is the government, the police, or the government and the police together. On the other hand, 30% of Arab respondents reported that the factors that can resolve the violence are the traditional leadership of Arab society, the heads of families and local leaders. But the most interesting fact that you see here, the most interesting finding, is that 10% of respondents say that the responsibility are parents and Arab society, and that possibility was never even presented to the respondents. Meaning, in Arab society, there is an increasing awareness and a greater desire to take on this problem of violence and take it on themselves. And if somebody else is not going to take care of the Arab citizens, they decided to do so themselves, and that will reduce it. There are also those that are convinced that there is no solution. Now, we asked another thing that has to do with personal safety and security, because we note, remarking almost 2 years since the violence that occurred in May 2021. And we asked respondents, how concerned are they that events like this will reoccur? 84%, an enormous majority, meaning, and 50% of those are absolutely concerned, or to a great degree concerned, that these events will reoccur. If we add this to the concrete fear of violence in Arab society, and then we add the external fear, the violence from an external source, we can see how dire the problem is, that Arab citizenry, generally speaking, the majority, do not feel safe. But not to depress you too much, I'd like to show you a couple of optimistic findings, and it's the last issue that I will present. And that has to do with the political participation and alliance. We have Knesset member Mansour Abbas here with us, by the way. And we asked Arab respondents that are they interested that an Arab party will be part of the coalition. Now, let's say something. This finding that we show you now between supporters and opposers, between those who are fully supportive and those who are fully opposing, these numbers come up again and again at almost every political election, because there is a vast majority, a solid majority, that support an Arab partnership in the coalition, an Arab party partnership. And now we know that we have a fully right-wing party at the government at the moment. So this is not an issue that is even a possibility at the moment, and yet you cannot ignore the overwhelming support among respondents for the idea. But what's new here? And because we asked people, and this is an innovation, was the experience with Ram, was it generally positive? And these are our findings. Half of the Arab respondents say that it was generally a positive experience. Mansour, you're smiling? Wait for the punchline. Maybe you'll even like it more. Because the interesting thing in this finding is that we asked this question, do you know when we asked? A moment before the elections. A coalition of the government of change was still in effect. Dr. Mansour was part of the coalition at the time. And then in November, a moment before the elections, everything was, the tables were turned. 85% said that it was a good experience, this partnership, and the others thought that it was a very bad experience. So it's not only that this indicates a statistically significant change, and by the way, it's exactly the same poll in the methodology of the poll, data collection. This is a statistically significant change, but also a change that could indicate a positive attitude towards a possible partnership of an Arab political party after with the coalition. I'm not saying that the Arab citizens addressed the Ram experience within the government as like the golden age of the Arab parties. No, but I would say that these findings show that the fruits of change are something that is evident even a few months after the experience ended. And it could be that among the Arab public, they understand that the next Arab-Jewish partnership is just a matter of time. Thank you very much for your attention. I will conclude here. Thank you very much, Arik.